Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Collision Slam Dunk Sunday post-show review. So we are getting the second special episode of Collision because of the NCAA basketball tournament. Uh, uh, Yesterday we got the Saturday Slam Dunk 1 hour special, and now this is Slam Dunk Sunday 1 hour special. So a very good card announced for tonight. Trios titles will be defended. Mistico and Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family. Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong will be in the tag team action, and Tommaso Ciampa will face Lio Rush. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong versus Jay Lethal and Lee Johnson. Lethal put Cassidy's jacket on Johnson prior to the match after it was thrown aside, and Lethal did his Ric Flair strut to taunt Strong before the two got in a bit of chain wrestling going early on the match. Strong held Lethal in place. Cassidy got on top rope and then decided to hit a leg lack of elbow, as you know of Orange Cassidy moves. Then we saw Cassidy attempted a beach break, but Johnson countered it. The two exchanged standing switches for a bit until Cassidy escaped a full Nelson by putting his hands in his pockets. Classic Orange Cassidy maneuver. Outside the ring, Blake Christian was now sporting Cassidy's Canadian tuxedo. In the ring, Johnson dropped Cassidy with the vertical suplex for a very close 2 count. We saw after a struggle, Cassidy finally tagged in Strong, who unleashed a flurry of offense on Lee Johnson and Jay Lethal as well. Johnson pushed Strong onto the corner while Cassidy was prepping for a diving attack. Strong broke up the count by pushing Lethal onto Johnson, and we saw Cassidy counter a lethal suplex into a Slumdog Billionaire as Strong again grabbed Cassidy and threw him onto Lethal. And then Roderick Strong hit the end of Heartache, and Cassidy hit the orange pun for the pinfall win. So again, a very good tag team match between uh, these two teams. After the match, Strong got on the microphone and said that he owned Cassidy and everyone an explanation. He talked about how he took the time to understand the conglomeration, and now he is officially declaring himself as a member of the conglomeration. And then they were interrupted by David Finlay at Clark corners of the dogs on the big screen. Finlay said that the closer the dogs were to death, the more they felt alive. Corners then issued a challenge to Cassidy and Strong to a match on Dynamite this Wednesday. So again, a matchup is set for Dynamite as well, and very good to see Roderick Strong joining the conglomeration. Next up, we saw the women's tag team title champions Divine Dominion in action. This was the uh, literally a showcase of match for the tag champions, who are definitely getting well in this role as a dominant tag team. Nothing wrong with a squash match to show that they are the dominant champions in this. So for the match, we saw Bayne dominate with running attacks to helpless uh, hipless Kross, and then we saw Bayne and Kross put an end to this with a double choke slam and a pinfall on the opponent. So again, a dominating victory for the champions. Next up, we saw Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa versus Lio Rush, and Lio Rush is now having a new kind of look, a new kind of character. Rush started at Ciampa with a crazed smile on his face as he offered a handshake to him when the bell rang. Ciampa rejected, who prompted Rush to use an orthodox running game to leave. Ciampa confused with an attack that sent him outside. Rush hit a Hurricane Rana on Ciampa, followed with a clothesline. We saw Ciampa dumped to the outside with another running knee. With Ciampa down on the mat, Rush headed up top for a high-risk move. Ciampa then rolled out of the way and to the apron, and Rush responded with an attempted running attack as well. Ciampa dodged the thrust kick and hit the Project Ciampa and a blue thunder bomb for a very close 2 count. Then we saw Ciampa through Rush with a Ciampa threw Lio Rush with a hard Irish sweep into the corner as he then followed up with the Project Ciampa again for a very close 1-2-2.999. That was very close count. Ciampa exposed his knee and absolute bested Lio Rush with his deadly running knee strike, and that was the victory that Tommaso Ciampa needs. So again, a very good single showing for Ciampa, and I am looking forward to Mark Briscoe coming back and we get this feud started again. So I hope so. Next week, Mark Briscoe will be available for Dynamite or Collision, or we might get the further uh, feud between these two. And in the main event, we saw World Trios Championship on the line. JetSpeed and Mistico versus the Don Callis family, Konosuke, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Clon as well. Our main event got underway with Mistico and Clon as the legal men for their respective teams. Alexander attacked Mistico from behind. Don Callis family got the upper hand here as they laid out Mistico and Knight at the ringside as well. We saw Kevin Knight tried to help out his partner but was felled by a scoop slam by Alexander to the knees of Clon. Mystico rejoined the match and hit Clon with a kick followed by a Hurricane Runner from the apron. Mystico held his own against Takeshita and Clon as the Don Callis family was sent retreating to the outside as well. We saw Takeshita tried for his clothesline but Bailey met him with a super kick as both men went down and struggled to their corners. Takeshita dropped him with the Blue Thunder Bomb for a very close near fall. Then Takeshita set up Kevin Knight for a running knee, but he missed on it. And in the meanwhile, attempted the Raging Fire into DDT by Kevin Knight. So again, very, very good counter by Kevin Knight. Mystico leapt from the top rope and took down Takeshita and Clone with the double crossbody as well. Clone hit a Pele kick on Kevin Knight as he then hit his unique running springboard moonsault for a very close 2 count. Mystico tagged in and eventually connected with La Mystica on Clone, and Clone immediately tapped out as well. It should be noted that Josh Alexander sustained an injury in this match and was absent for the latter half and was helped to the back, and unfortunate for Josh Alexander as he was looking fantastic in Don Callis family, so he might be missing some time. I don't know the nature of the injury, but it's a knee injury and it might be long and it might be a short term. So let's see what happens next for Josh Alexander. But again, a very good trios match, solid main event to wrap up Slam Dunk Sunday night. And credit where it's due for essentially having to come up with a way to keep the match going even the injury of Josh Alexander. So and Dynamite is stacked for Wednesday. We have Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland in a very good match. EVP ship versus the number one contendership, and also we get the announcement of Rush versus Darby Allin for Dynamite as well, and the Dogs versus the Conglomeration tag team match, and Thekla versus Mina Shirakawa for the women's title as well. So again, a very stacked card for uh, Dynamite announced. So please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.